Want to go back to the phone lines, talk to Preston, listening in Olathe, Kansas. Hi.
Hi. I've been reading up on preterism, and it seems to make a lot of sense. There's just one thing that I'm struggling with answering. I grew up with a heavy dispensational eschatology, so always looking for revelation being in the future. So when I look at preterism, I don't know how to address the future. Is there any scripture or anything that relates to what we can expect in the future? And what are we in right now? Is it the kingdom, millennial, or how would you address that?
Sure. Well, preterism comes from the Latin word that has to do with past. And the view is that there are two basic preterists, which is to say there are partial preterists and there are hyper-preterists. The partial preterist is a person that lies within the pale of Orthodox Christian theology in that they postulate that the bodily return of Christ, the bodily resurrection of the dead, the final resolution of sin is all yet future. However, hyper-preterism is, I think, a heretical idea because it presumes that all prophecy, including the second coming of Jesus Christ and the resurrection of Christians, has been fulfilled. It's already done. And therefore, I wouldn't hold to hyper-preterism. I also, personally, am not a partial preterist, but it is not that I do not appreciate partial preterists. It's simply that I think that they make the same mistake that futurists make, only with a history book in hand as opposed to a newspaper in hand. So I have some disagreements, although I've had many partial preterists in interviews on the broadcast that I very much respect. So these would be differences that we could debate vigorously, not divide over. So again, just to be clear, hyper-preterism, from my perspective, is clearly heretical. Partial preterism is clearly acceptable within the pale of orthodoxy.